Madam Chair, thank you. My colleagues have made many powerful arguments against this bill today, and I'm here for a very simple reason. That's to offer what I believe is a reasonable bipartisan amendment focused on a shared goal, protecting the American people from higher energy costs. This amendment would ensure that key provisions in this bill, particularly those that eliminate support for clean energy and roll back environmental protections, cannot take effect unless the Energy Information Administration confirms that they will not increase monthly household utility bills. That's it. If the policies in this bill are truly going to reduce costs, then this amendment simply adds a common sense verification step to confirm it, nothing more. But independent analysis already indicates this bill would raise energy costs for American families by at least 7%. That's an average of more than $110 per year per household at a time when nearly 80 million Americans are struggling to pay their utility bills. We shouldn't be adding to that burden. Now, some of my colleagues have asked, look, if clean energy is so affordable, why does it still need tax credits? It's a good question, and the answer is this. Clean energy is already the cheapest source of power in many markets, but the transition still requires upfront investment. We need to build transmission lines, upgrade the grid, and scale American manufacturing. The credits help unlock those investments and deliver long-term savings to consumers. At the same time, fossil fuels continue to benefit from long-standing subsidies and infrastructure that's been built and paid for over decades. Without tax credits, we're not creating a level playing field. We're favoring the status quo at the expense of innovation and competition. These investments are not only saving families money in the long run, they're creating jobs, and not just in any one part of the country. The clean energy economy is growing in red districts and blue districts alike. Solar plants, battery storage facilities, wind farms, electric vehicle factories, grid modernization projects. These are putting people to work in rural areas, in small towns, in manufacturing hubs, and communities that have seen jobs vanish in past decades. From Georgia to Michigan, North Carolina to California, clean energy is rebuilding America's industrial base and restoring pride and prosperity, including in places that have been overlooked for far too long. If we eliminate the tools that are making this growth possible, we don't just risk raising prices, we risk losing momentum on job creation, competitiveness, and true energy independence. This bill also contains provisions that raise fees on renewables will make it easier and cheaper for fossil fuel developers to access public lands. It weakens permitting protections, and it undercuts the economic foundation for one of the fastest growing sectors in our economy, all while shifting costs back to American families. Regardless of how you feel about clean energy or climate change, I hope we can agree on this. If we're going to pass legislation that affects energy markets, we have a responsibility to ensure it doesn't drive up costs for the people we represent. That's what this amendment does. It doesn't block the bill. It doesn't impose ideology. It simply says, let's get the facts first. Let's verify the real-world impact before we make irreversible changes. Our constituents expect us to be responsible stewards, not just of the environment, but of their hard-earned money. Let's show that we can work together to protect them from higher utility bills and preserve the job growth we're finally seeing across this country. I urge my colleagues to support this amendment and to stand up for families, for fairness, and for the future.